Arielle, Adam, we're here. It has been nearly 10 years. It's that fateful night, summer of 2012. You were both home from college. And Adam said to his friend Keon, yes, I am willing to break the rules and have a party at my parents' house, but I will only risk incurring the wrath of Sarah and Bob if you can ensure that Arielle Nagel is at the party. And that was the spark that started your summer romance. At the end of the summer, back to college, and it was a few years before you connected again, and you got together after 3 years, and an amazing thing happened the day you had coffee together. It came out in your conversation that you'd both been thinking about each other a lot during that period. Then from there, it was less than a year. Arielle, you had moved to Washington, D.C. You guys lived there for 2 years, then Chicago for 2 years. My favorite 2 years, by the way. And then 2 years in the Bay Area, and now we're here under this chuppah that symbolizes the home you're going to have forever. This chuppah was woven by your grandma, Sybil. It's actually now a family heirloom. You're the third couple to get married under it. It's wonderful. In Jewish tradition, the wedding ring, because it's circular, it doesn't end. It symbolizes your never-ending love for each other. And it also symbolizes the link between generations in a family. So I want to start out with a cross-generational family story that involves you two. As you know, the first year that you were in Chicago, Grandpa's sister, Aunt Roz, was in and out of the hospital a lot. And at one point, Uncle Sam also had to go to the emergency room. And I was out of town, and none of Roz's adult kids were in Chicago. So Arna, my wife, was at the hospital, in the emergency room with Sam, then up to Roz's room, down to Sam, and finally he got in a room, and she was going back and forth between their rooms, and finally it was time for bed. And Sam said to Arna, before we go to sleep, I want to give Roz a kiss goodnight. So Arna knew that Roz was a little more transportable at that point, so she went down to Roz's ward and got a wheelchair. Nurses let her bring Roz back for a really sweet kiss goodnight for the two of them. As Arna is wheeling Roz back to her room, her phone rings. It's Sarah calling from Phoenix. Adam is in the emergency room. What hospital? Northwestern. I'm there right now. Let me just get Roz back to her bed and I'll go down to the emergency room. So Arna gave Roz her own kiss goodnight, and as she's heading down to the emergency room, she's worried about you, Adam, but also thinking about this really sweet moment she saw Roz and Sam have their kiss goodnight. And as she gets in the emergency room, Arna just rounds the corner. She's thinking of this moment of care and tenderness with the couple in their 90s. And what does she see? The couple in their 20s, cuddled up on Adam's hospital bed. And Arna was telling me how sweet that connection was between Roz and Sam's kiss and then seeing you guys moments later in the same hospital. But you know. And as Arna's telling me this story on the phone later that night, because I'm traveling, she says, it was so wonderful. They'd be cuddling together, then Arielle would dart up and go advocate for Adam. Go advocate for Adam, saying, where's his meds? When's the doctor coming? When's his test? And as Arna told me that about Arielle going from cuddling to advocating for Adam and coming back, she said, you know what? Adam and Arielle are going to make a great team. Now that's not faint praise from Arna, because I know what she means by that. You know, it's not a cliche like, you know, there's no I in team, nothing like that. This is like serious stuff, because what she's saying is that being a team is like the most important thing. When you get married, you don't just get married or become husband and wife. I mean, that happens, but it's so much bigger than that. You two are binding your lives together in a way that creates such potential, such possibility, and such power. You know, our species, we've been kind of fine-tuning this pair bond thing for millions of years. It works really well when you do it well, and amazing things can happen. Adam, you were telling me that when Arielle moved to DC, she did a great job, not surprisingly, of integrating into your friendship group. But everybody that Arielle knew had known you ahead of time. And you said when you got to Chicago 2 years later, it was the first time you were Adam and Arielle. You were a unit, Adam and Arielle. And let's talk about what that means and what that means for the rest of your lives. When we were talking a couple of months ago, I remember sharing with you, I said that by the time I'm now in my 60s, I've got a lot of friends who have like really strong marriages. We've also seen a lot of people who didn't make it and those that don't have great marriages. And I said to you guys on the phone, I remember I said, and I've seen some themes that correlate with couples that have really strong marriages. I didn't say anything. And you're like, you gonna tell me? If you spoke the Yiddish of your grandparents, what you've been saying, like, who? Tell me more. So I shared those 3 themes that correlate with a strong marriage with you. And I've been thinking about it a lot since we talked that day. It was in early January, about how these themes apply to you. So I want to revisit them in terms of you. The first theme I shared with you there that correlates with having a really strong marriage partnership is when you put each other's happiness at the top of your own agenda. I mean, think what happens if in every moment you're thinking not only what makes me happy, but what can make the other person happy. And these opportunities to make somebody happy can be those really big things, like the once in a marriage things, like let's say one of you wants to make a career change and relocate, or the once every 10-year or 5-year things, like once every 1-year decision. I know what a once every 1-year decision is for you guys. It's like, where are we going on vacation the next year? To make sure that Adam's passport continues to be the most widely varied stamped passport of anybody, any American who does not work for an airline or the State Department. It's incredible. This guy goes everywhere. But so it could be those big things too. Now, as you know, I sent you guys some questions I wanted you to answer individually, and so I could see what you guys had to say, so I could understand what's going on. And by the way, I told you I would share those answers with you after the wedding. The mail servers at Google, I think, are scheduled to send you an email right about now. It's in your email box. But you said something that had such wisdom in that, Adam, about this idea of making the other person happy. I asked you guys a question there. What makes the other person happy, and what do you do to make them happy? And you guys both shared those big things. But you, when your answer, you said, I believe at all times, Arielle deserves blanket priority. And I love that, because it's like always making sure that she's not cold in bed or cuddling up watching a TV show. And what's so amazing about that is, yeah, we've got these big opportunities to make each other happy, but all day long we have opportunities at the scale of blanket priority to make people happy. And I want to encourage you guys to remember your piece of wisdom there, blanket priority. In fact, Sarah, if you need to make a quilt, can you make them one that says, she's already nodding, she's already decided, she's already designing it in her head. Blanket priority. You can make each other happy many, many times a day. The second theme I shared with you was having a really healthy mix of the things you do together and the things you do apart. And notice I didn't say a healthy balance, because balance implies like score. It's like, okay, you did that on your own, now you got to do something together. No, it's like the natural mix, which I know you guys have, of the things you love to do together, the things you do apart. In those answers, I asked you guys, what do you like to do together? And Arielle, you wrote, Adam's love language is time together. I love that. You guys are really good at doing things together. The list of things you guys gave me of all the things you like to do together was fabulous. You did spill the beans on something I'm going to share with everybody, that you guys have dance parties when you brush your teeth. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? And then, so we said when you got to Chicago, that was the first time you were, Adam and Arielle, and I saw you there. You had all these things you did together with your friends. You had all these friends together, but you also managed to create your own lives there. While you were in school, you built a community at your job. You built friends there. Some of your friends from there are here tonight. You built your own friends. And you also had your film club. And now you've got the things you do together all the time, but you're not going mountain biking, are you? But I love that you asked for a GoPro so you could watch when he's mountain biking, right? Let's face it, you guys have great models for this. Rob and Karen, you guys are taking dance lessons together now. How great is that? But you have your things you do separately. You're not running any marathons, are you, Karen? And Bob and Sarah have built a company together, but have also had a lot of interests separately. So you guys got a lot of models for this. So these first two themes, keeping each other's happiness at the top of your agenda and this healthy mix of things that you do together and apart, you guys are doing great. The third theme I shared with you was how you interact with each other, just how you engage. Because throughout a day, you have so many opportunities to just be together, and I watch you two together. You interact together really well. The interactions you want to have are caring, fluid, empathetic, natural, engaging, as opposed to you see people who are more cold and distant and confrontational. We don't want that, right? Of course, and you would never be that. You want to be the opposite of George Costanza's parents. You want to be nice to each other. And we've got something in our household that my wife Arna, in her infinite wisdom, has stated, that there's never any reason that you need to say things that aren't nice. I call that the Arna rule. And we try really hard to do that. Now, it's hard to do all the time. I remember I broke it. Let me see, adjusting for time zones, 6 days, 2 hours and 14 minutes ago, I broke the Arna rule. And we were just about to sit down to dinner with our grandchildren. I said something to Arnett, wasn't as nice as I could have. And it was like we both knew it. It was like the really obvious holding penalty. You know the ref's going to throw the flag, flagrant violation. We both knew it. We sat down on the table. I got out my notes app, and the first thing you write is that big font. I wrote, I said that wrong, sorry. You're going to break it sometimes, but try to just engage in a way that's nice and makes each other happy. You think of these things, I said, putting each other's happiness at the top of your agenda, that healthy mix of things you do together and apart, and just making sure at all times you're just like, I see this in you guys all the time, that you're just nice to each other. These 3 themes, I think you guys got nailed. Now, it's likely that somebody's going to grab your arm and say, Steve forgot one. And you know what? If that happens, what I encourage you to do is listen to them. I'm not saying my list is exhaustive. I'm saying there are so many things we can do to create Team Adam and Arielle. You can do, or any of us can create our teams in a way that is so strong. So listen to anybody else, and you'll create your own ideas. These are tools that we have to just create a life together that is just meaningful. The story of Adam and Arielle has not yet been written. It's been partially written, first few chapters, but now you guys get to write it. There's no predetermined outcome here. It's what you guys do. You can create so much potential, so much you can do for each other. Hundreds of years from now, you could have thousands of descendants. Imagine what it means to get Team Adam and Arielle together. So now what we want to do is let you two state your intent and exchange rings and share the vows that you've written. I think you're going to go first, Arielle, right?
I need my book.
Okay. Want me to hold this? Yes, please.
Adam, from the moment I met you, I have been captivated by you. You're charming, brilliant, funny, and by some twist of fate and luck, you love me. Meeting you 10 years ago completely changed the course of my life. We were 20 years old and thought we knew everything. We may not have known much, but we knew we had found a love unlike any we had ever known. As I stand here with you today, after 3 torturous years apart and 7 beautiful years growing up together, what I know now, more deeply than anything, is that I can promise you this. I promise to love you and to be devoted to you for the rest of my life. I promise to be faithful to you, to show up for you, and to prioritize our relationship. I promise to respect, admire, and appreciate you for who you are, and I promise to support your dreams as you continue to become the person you wish to be. I promise to take care of you if you get sick, and I promise to take care of myself so that I can grow old with you. I promise to do what I can to make you happy, because nothing makes me happier than seeing you smile. I promise to remember that disagreement is temporary, but our love is permanent. You said that. I promise that no matter what life throws our way, I will always be by your side. Nothing feels more natural or easy than making these promises to you. I love everything about you. I love your open-mindedness, your commitment to personal growth, your truly remarkable relationship with our cat. I love your laugh. I love when you laugh so hard that you cry. And I love that you cry. While, yes, you have a very full arsenal of self-deprecating jokes, you are unapologetically yourself. I admire everything that you are, and I feel incredibly honored and so proud to be the person who gets to marry you and who gets to start a family with you. Our kids are gonna have the most amazing dad. No matter what happens or how much time passes, I know our love will never fade, and we will continue to grow side by side. Loving you is the best best thing that has ever happened to me. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
There's the ring.
Can I put it on him?
Yeah, please put it on him now.
I shouldn't let you go first.
Not yet.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Could I text it to you? Arielle,
Yeah.
you are my superpower. This is gonna take much longer.
I need some tissue.
You give me self-confidence and self-worth. You've taken the edge off of me. And according to many of my friends, you've made me fun. You've helped me embrace my curiosity and taught me not to take myself too seriously. You've shown me so much in life, that it's okay, maybe even preferable, that my dancing is funny. That if you choose the right person, every night of your life can feel like a slumber party. That you can never have too many soft, comfortable things in your house, but that someone's unconditional love for you is the world's greatest comfort. That committing to love each other is committing to grow together. And most importantly, you've shown me that our love for each other is an all-weather feeling, and that letting it erode is a choice we will never make. Just gonna take a second.
Really good.
Thank you. All right. Arielle, I promise to never stand between you and dessert. To never even expect a half share of a blanket, more the less the majority of one. To always try to be my best self and to love you in the rare moments that you aren't yours. To commit to growing together. To appreciate all that you can teach me. And to always be grateful for you and the life that we are building together. I will be there to shoulder as much of the burden of life as I can, to celebrate and share life's joy with you, and to feel the hard times. I will always take care of you the best way that I can, and I won't get in the way of you taking care of me. I'll remember that my experience is just mine, and that your experience is an opportunity to expand my understanding of the world. Just like I do today, I'll take a quick break.
Oh my God, you're amazing.
Save it. Just like I do today, I'll continue to go to bed each night knowing how lucky I am that we decided to let each other's love light up and warm our lives. Oh, I'm at the end, thank God. Arielle, falling in love with you is the most selfish thing I have ever done. Because the more I love you, the more I learn how to love myself. And in turn, love you more. A cycle that spins continuously, making the depths of how I feel for you feel infinite. So close. I got it.
Yeah.
I promise to weather whatever the world throws at us and to do so together, cherishing the cycle that makes our love always grow.
Well, I get to kiss him too, right?
Is the ring?
Oh, yeah.
And we'll do the I do's now. I do. Yeah, that's I do's. And you put the ring on her.
Okay.
Okay, baby, oh my God. I'm gonna read those over and over and over again every day.
Based on what you both said, I know this is, and everything else, we know this is very obvious, but Arielle, do you commit and intend to be the loving wife of Adam forever and to support him and to be his best friend and make everything happen for Team Adam and Arielle?
I do.
And Adam, do you commit to be the loving husband of Arielle, to always be with her, to be her best friend and always support her in everything?
I do.
Well, this is now the official part. I can pronounce you wife and husband. You can step on the glass and kiss.
Practice this.